What's going on? Um, in this book right here, Trail of Tears, this is about Cherokees, okay? In the book, they postulate that they're Jews. And right away, man, it's like something in my stomach really turned. Because that's a misconception that they're Jews. And I also seen a show where they did a DNA test on these people, on the Cherokees, to see if they're related to the Jews in Israel now. Well, the people in Israel that call themselves Jews now are not Jews. They're actually called Khazarians. So you're not going to get a good DNA profile between these people and Jews, especially Jew-esh. Jew-esh is definitely, like, look, that's code word for Khazarian. Uh, are these people related to Judah? Yeah, but they're more like, see, these people aren't Jews. What they are is Hebrew. There's 12 different ethnic groups that are Hebrew. So it's their whole way they're going about it is wrong. By trying to, like, everyone's trying to prove that they're Jew. Well, it's like there's only one tribe of Judah, and then there's 11 other tribes, ethnic groups, that they are related, but they're not the same. You know what I'm saying? And you can look at the X group halogen. The highest concentration is in the Great Lakes, and it does go right into basically like Babylon, into Iraq, into the Sumeria. Uh, Basically, it does go all the way back to that place, and they're looking in the wrong direction. You know, they're trying to prove, are they Khazarian, and it's like, no, they're not Khazarian. They're Hebrew. Um, which is it's just like I see this all the time, and it's kind of irritating that people ain't privy to this trick now, that the Khazarians, the Zionists, the Protocols of Zion types, you're not gonna catch any truth from by making a covenant with the Smithsonian types. But anyway, in here in the Trail of Tears, it says that, like, these Cherokees kind of got proud and haughty because they were adept at living off the land here, and they kept going and oppressing kind of like their neighboring Indian people, and they basically would conquer them and sell them as slaves to the whites. And they would go conquer the neighbors' land, sell that to the whites, and eventually they ran out of people to oppress, and neighbors to human traffic. So I mean, look, it says right in the Bible that one of the curses of being a Hebrew, and if you start to sell your brethren into slavery like they did to Joseph, that you would be displaced from your homeland, and all these curses of Deuteronomy would come upon you. And these people, booyaka, they do have evidence of the curse, as do my people, the Chippewas. You know what I'm saying? It's like, actually, it's we weren't put into slavery. We were put into what you call captivity. You know what I'm saying? Which means, like, the 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 nation got to oppress and segregate and kind of hold down these people, and then teach them their ways, and make them stop to follow their own history, and all their traditions, and all their ways were greatly suppressed. And then white civilization way, which is the same way, like what these guys got enticed into the human trafficking, and they had this pride, and then then became a fall. You know what I'm saying? They were displaced and sent to a different land to serve their enemies, as was my people. But before we did that, we did kind of punk on all the neighboring tribes, and that was a common thing in Indian times, is that they would dominate one another. And I mean, but it's the same thing they were doing when they came out of Egypt, and they were just in the wild, displacing all the heathen Canaanite nations, and pushing them out of their homeland. And then that was basically the inherited land, is you got to take it. That's what God said. But if you didn't do it in the way God told you to do it, you wouldn't be able to keep it anyway. So there's a lot of older curses that kind of came down, and these people brought with them to this country here, the hidden land. And I saw this in here that, like, look, these guys were trying to compare themselves to Jews, and that's your big problem there. No, they're not Jews, they're Hebrews. People got to stop saying the word Jew all the time. The word is, the Jews are Hebrews, but Hebrews are not Jews, if that makes any sense. Look, Jews are Hebrews, but Hebrews are not necessarily Jews, or Jewish. There's 11 different other tribes, man. There's Manasseh, Joseph, Zebulun, Nephtali, Benjamin, Levi, Gad, Joseph. Dan was in there, but he's taken out and replaced with Manasseh and Joseph. It's like, just like in Revelations when it says, I'll snatch out your candlestick and give it to another if you don't tighten up. It's the same thing. We are also, since we are going through these curses now, and we're remembering our inheritance, we're supposed to provoke the Jews unto jealousy, because they're God's chosen people, but yet they're the most wayward, actually, because they follow the Babylonian Talmud, and they do not acknowledge the other 11 tribes of Hebrews, and then even the 11 other tribes think of themselves as Jews when they're not, and there's no knowledge of the true differentiation. Is like, to being Israel means that you're related to the sons of Jacob, and there's 12 of them. So, and it's in Isaiah that there's going to come a point in time where people are going to start to surname themselves